And although this is a cheap commercial for my class tomorrow, come to class tomorrow at 4 o'clock. It's online if you're scared to come in person, and I have one on Thursday too. Get the story out of your body and onto the page. All right. This is called The Ladybug and I. There is a world out there, or might I dare to say inside out there, that I cannot stop peeping into. My eyes, inadequate to see, I pull the log up against a wobbling wooden fence and stand upon it, on tiptoes, teetering, so my eyes can see the horizon line over the jagged edge of the old decaying barricade. And what I see astounds me. Nothing. I knew I had seen the shimmer of her wings fluttering off toward the horizon, because it had reflected the golden light of a setting sun. The ladybug, the one who caught me by surprise so long ago when I was not yet fully formed, the one who seemed homeless but was simply within her natural element, it was she who entered my dream, where we had a conversation, or really more honestly, where she spoke to me. She was tired, she said, in that dream, but oh so happy to be alive. If she had to be the one who carried the burden, that inconsolable ache, she was fine to do it. Well, sort of. Well, actually completely, but not without a cost. She talked to me about a past life, lived long ago, the memory fresh as yesterday. It was she who first told me about him. And it was she who, in my lucid state, gave me my first holy revelation. There was something magical about him, she said, about his whirling dervish energy, about his magical use of words, about his undying love for Shams. Her eyes faded off away from me as she transported herself back to another realm. She appeared to be in a state of ecstasy as she told me about the moment he uttered, for the first time, that our living is firewood. This after the brutal murder of Shams. Oh, how she wept with him that day, not tears of sadness, but of a shared joy and sweet relief in remembering. Soft, warm tears ran down flushed cheeks as I took in her story, drunk with some unfamiliar sacred fire now searing its way through my veins. I was warmed by her fire. I stood wrapped in wonder as I witnessed her recollect, and I watched as the weight of her held burden became lighter on her face, simply in the remembering. Her shoulders lifted just a bit, and her rosy cheeks flushed with an unmistakable passion. What I witnessed and what I felt I now understand as holy fire. She said as she lowered her head thoughtfully that in time that fateful day had to come. As all students must do, she flew away from him. She explained that she was pulled toward some inescapable future, and that she was forever unable to remember who she was before that fateful day when he uttered those words. In my head, her story had just begun, her words just whetting my appetite for something more. My body ached with a hunger I had never before experienced. I was sure I knew her. We had lived and loved before. She must have recognized the look in my eyes, the plea. Just one more word, one more moment. I watched as her reverie softened. She regained her composure and held me with a gaze of such kindness, such knowing. It held me as I had never been held before. I don't think I had ever fully felt being seen before this day. Her work was done in the remembering, in the telling of her story, I her only audience. Tears began to fall for both of us now. I had never loved like this before, held in such a state of grace. It was excruciatingly beautiful. My heart sank, for I knew that the ensuing moment was inevitable now. She looked to the sky, perhaps in the same way she did on that fateful day with him, and she flew up and flew away from me. Was this how he felt too? Now the memory of her image, that particular, beautiful, haunting image of my dreams, began to fade into the horizon line of my mind, as it had done once before. I watched as the clouds of my mystical dream evaporated, its fluid qualities now shifting within me into tears of longing and realization and gratitude. Such is the quality of water to flow and shape-shift within us all. Woozy from drinking too much from such a magical fount, I stepped down from the wobbling log and moved away from the decaying barricade, glad I had remembered. Always the peeping Tom, indulgently I peeked up a final time, peering once again at the world inside out there, only to confirm that now the horizon line had become impossibly beyond my grasp once again. And now it was I who could not remember who I was before I had met her, before that fateful dream.
Yeah.